the family of Mzee Museveni and Mama Janet, the extended family, friends, neighbors, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you to Irenga on behalf of our parents who are our Bagore for today. I also want to welcome you on behalf of my grandparents, our grandparents on Mama's side. That is Mzee Kataha and Kaka Erna, who are no longer with us, but on whose land we stand today. We want you to know that we appreciate your coming to our humble home and village, and for honoring this celebration.
Muhoozi's politics of power. Can Uganda's most controversial general become the president of the Republic of Uganda? Now, from threats to presidential ambition, the question Uganda cannot escape from. For years, Ugandans have watched Muhoozi Kainerugaba transform from a military officer into one of the most talked about political figures in the country.
For entrusting me, I want to take this opportunity to thank General Muhoozi Kainerugaba for entrusting me with a big office of Patriotic League of Uganda as General Secretary. I want to thank him so much, and I promise to work so closely with him and Ugandans for a betterment of our nation, Uganda. Today I didn't want to talk to media because I wanted to make my official communication
Country. Long before he openly hinted at political ambitions, his social media posts, public statements, and growing influence had already placed him at the center of Uganda's succession debate. Few figures in modern Uganda inspire such sharply divided opinions. To the supporters of Muhoozi Kainerugaba, Muhoozi is a patriotic soldier, a modernizer of the armed forces, and a leader capable of carrying forward the legacy of his father, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. But to the critics, he represents a growing fusion of military, politics, and power, and the questions about democracy, institutions, and then the future of governance in the country, Uganda. The question remains, can Muhoozi Kainerugaba become president of the Republic of Uganda? And if he can, what kind of president would he be? That question everyone is asking. The rise of a powerful political brand. Unlike many political figures in Uganda who build their career through local councils, through parliament, or party structures, Muhoozi's rise has been largely through the military. Because we know he's the CDF. Over the years, he commanded the Special Forces Command, one of the Uganda's most powerful security units. He later rose to command the UPDF Land Forces and eventually become the Chief of Defense Forces in Uganda, overall chief, overall commander. His supporters argue that these roles gave him experience in leadership, in security management, and then in national affairs. They point to his international military training and regional security engagements as evidence that he possesses qualities necessary for him to become the president of the Republic of Uganda. And however, critics counter that military leaderships and political leaderships are not the same. Commanding soldiers is different from governing a nation. Political parties, civil society groups, religious leaders, business community, and millions of the citizens with diverse expectations. Now, the social media general, no discussions about Muhoozi is complete without addressing his social media presence. Unlike many military leaders who avoid controversy, Muhoozi has built a reputation for making bold, provocative, and sometimes shocking statements online. His comments directed at opposition leaders such as Robert Chagulanyi, Kizza Besigye, Erias Lukwago, and Ibrahim Semuzunganda have repeatedly sparked national debate. Currently, supporters of Muhoozi see these remarks as confidence and fearlessness. They believe Muhoozi says that many politicians are afraid to say. Critics see something different. They argue that a president must unite people, not constantly provoke opponents. They worry that his confrontational style would deepen political division rather than heal them. This issue may ultimately become one of the biggest tests of his political future. The Nairobi tweets and the regional shockwaves. One of the most famous controversies involved Moses remarked about capturing Nairobi. The comments generated intense reactions across East Africa, across Africa and the entire world, while some supporters dismissed them as jokes and political banter. Critics view them as inappropriate for a senior military officer like Muhoozi. The incident raised questions about diplomacy, military professionalism, and the impact of social media on international relations. For many observers, it demonstrated both Muhoozi's greatest political strength and his greatest political weakness at the same time. His strength is that he commands attention. Whenever he speaks, people listen. His weakness is that attention is not always positive. The succession question that everyone is talking about for decades now, Uganda's politics has been shaped by one dominant figure, but nobody else. Only one dominant figure. That is General Museveni. As the president continues to lead the country, many Ugandans have increasingly asked what happened after him. Within this debate, Muhoozi's name consistently emerges, and we have seen Fadil also publishing the portrait that is coming in 2031. But opponents are saying this is not a family politics. They insist that if Muhoozi wins an election fairly, his family background should not disqualify him. Critics argue that Uganda's future should not be seen through the hierarchy. They fear that Muhoozi's presidency would reinforce perception that political power is being transferred within one family to another. This debate goes beyond Muhoozi himself. It touches on deeper questions about institutions, democracy, and then the political transition. Let us also discuss something little about the military factor. One of the Muhoozi's greatest advantages in his strong connection to the military establishment. The security in Uganda remains a major concern in many countries, and voters often value leaders who protect them. Supporters believe Muhoozi's military background gives him credibility on matters of national security. However, the critics caution that excessive military influence in civilian politics can create long-term challenges. Successful democratic systems typically maintain a clear distinction between military institutions and political leadership. Whether Muhoozi can convince Ugandans that he would govern as a civilian leader rather than a military commander remains an important question